Okay, and I will share the. Okay, so yesterday we took a. Do you see the slides? Yeah, no. Okay. 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 So yesterday, okay, we finished by taking a look at the how to define the dimensions on Android on the Android layout. So for today, what I want you is to we are going to take a look at the most basic elements of the interface. Okay, and I will propose you several short exercises, okay, to just to play a bit with the design of user interfaces in Android. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so we will do a quick overview of these elements that in Android, we call them views because they are all of them are subclasses of the view class. Okay, so a very basic one is the text view, okay, which is a text label. Okay, um, another one that you will probably use quite often is edit text. Okay, that allows the user to write one or several lines. Okay, in the mobile device. Okay, you can define all these elements. Okay, have some properties, have a lot of properties actually. Okay, and depending on the component, depending on the element, okay, you will be able to define some of these properties. Okay, for example, in this case, in the edit text, this example, we have set the minimum number of lines and the maximum number of lines. Okay, and also the input type. Okay, in this case, we have selected a decimal number. Okay, there are a lot of input types. Okay, text URI, text multi-line, an email address, a password, a phone, date, time, number, whatever. Okay, and for example, depending on the value, the system can modify the keyboard that is shown by default to the user. Okay. Okay, and as we saw yesterday, I think actually you define the edit text in the layout, but later on from the code of the activity, we can modify these parameters. Okay, and also we can change them. Okay, we can set the text, for example, within the edit text, or we can obtain, for example, in this case with edit text, we can obtain what the user has actually written. Okay, in this very simple example. Okay, we have an activity showing a pantalla, a screen. Okay, and we set the layout. We assume that we have an edit text. Okay, in our layout. Okay, so with the command, with the method find view by ID, we get the reference to the edit text, we get the reference to the view, and then we can play with some methods. Okay, for example, we can set the text within the edit text, or we can, with the method get text, okay, and later on to a string, okay, we can get the string that the user has actually written in the application. We have also buttons. Okay, this is also very common. Okay, we can have a button that contains some text. Okay, and we have also image view. Okay, it's a view that can show an image. Okay, and we the image in this example, for example, you have the height and the weight. Okay, the height is 400 dps, density independent pixels, and the weight will be the weight of the parent view group where the image is located. Okay, and the image that is actually displayed is a resource located, okay, in the drawable folder of the res resource folder, okay, called imagen. We can also set the image to be displayed from the code. Okay, in this example, again, we do the same. We get a reference to the view, to the image view. We get the image as a bitmap. Okay, from a given file. Okay, we need to specify the path to this file, and then with the method set image bitmap, we set the image that is being displayed into the view, the image view. Checkboxes, for example, okay, the button that can be marked or not, on activated or not activated, okay, and for example, depending if we want to use the checkbox for so the user can activate or deactivate some option, okay, later on from the code we can check actually the status of this view of the checkbox, okay, with the method from the checkbox dot is checked. Okay, and for example, if the user has selected, if the user has marked the checkbox, we can do something. Or okay, other than the checkbox, okay, we can have a radio button, okay, and radio group. Radio button is again is like the checkbox, is a button that can be marked or not, okay, but we can use the radio group to group several radio buttons, okay, so that only one of them may be selected. Okay, here you have the definition, possible definition in the layout, okay, with 3 radio buttons within one radio group. Other views, time picker to select a time, date picker to select a date, a web view to show URIs, a map view to display maps. Okay, you have a lot of them. Okay, we will play a bit with that in Android Studio. We have also selection elements, okay, where we can display to the user a set of elements, and we can, let's say, to populate dynamically the elements that we are going to display to the user. Okay. In order to do that, okay, because okay, let's say that we are developing an application that is a gallery. Okay, we don't know the number of pictures that we are going to display. Okay, so we need some element, okay, to contain the set of data, in this case the set of images that are going to be displayed. Okay, so we will use an adapter that will provide to the application the data that is going to be shown. Okay, these adapters, well, many different types of adapters. Okay, but for example, in we can use an array adapter where the data is obtained from an array or a list of strings. Okay, or a cursor adapter where the data is obtained from a cursor, which is at the same time obtained from a query to the database. In the case of the array adapter, okay, well, we have different constructors. Okay, actually, the important here is the second adapter. the second argument, sorry, okay, where we are going to provide the layout that will define how to show each element, okay, in the screen, okay. So for example, in this case, we have an array of strings, okay, with several data, data1, data2, data3, data4, okay. We create an array adapter of strings, okay. We get the context of the application, okay. This is by default. We define the layout that we are going to use to display the data, okay, and then we create the array list, okay, adding all the data from to the array list, okay, and finally in the array adapter, okay, we populate the adapter with the data coming from the array. A list view, this is a bit, well, it's not the most recent implementation, okay, but I think the list view is still quite handy, okay. It's a view that we can use to show a list of elements, okay. So we can populate the list view with an adapter, okay, with some data, and then the user will be able to scroll and click on an element of the list, okay. Think, for example, about a list of emails, okay, for example, from your inbox, okay. We could use a list view and populate this list view, okay, with the array of emails, okay. So the definition in the layout file is quite easy, okay. List view within a layout, in this case a frame layout, but it could be a constant layout or a linear layout. We could have a list view, okay. The list view element in the layout, okay. For example, in this case, this is a short example, okay, but I think it's quite it's good to illustrate some of the use of the adapters and, in this case, a list view, okay. Let's think that we have an activity, okay, actividad, which extends the activity class, and on the onCreate method, okay, what we call the supper method, we set the layout, okay, from the we set the layout for the wall activity, okay, and then we have an array with several strings, okay, several data. Let's see, let's be whatever you want, okay. We will create, in order to display this data1, data2, data3, data4 in the list view, we cannot put them directly into the list view, okay. We need to have this adapter element, okay, to display the data in the list, okay. So we will instantiate an array adapter, okay, with layout, okay, and the array of strings, okay, that actually contains the data, okay. Then we will get the reference to the list view with the command, with the method find view by id as usual, and we will in the code with the method set adapter, okay, to put the not datos but the adapter containing the datos, okay. We will set the adapter to the list view, okay, and we will populate the list with the data in the adapter, which are the data in the string array, okay. Then, for example, we could add a listener to the list view, okay, with this one, set on item click listener, okay, which will detect when the user, okay, clicks on one of the items in the list, okay. We will have the method, we will override the on item click, okay, and in this case, we will get, this method will allow us, okay, to get the item that the user has selected, okay, and for example, to do something with that, okay. In this case, we have the on item click, well, we have several parameters here, and
Profe,
sí,
nada, no, que se te
ahora,
había silenciado. Eso.
no, vale, ¿llevaba mucho silenciado yo, no? Estoy
No, no.
hablando. Vale, okay, thank you. Okay, and then, for example, with this command, with the toast make text, we are displaying the item into the, we are displaying the string into the screen. Okay. Well, we could also use a list activity, which is an activity only displaying a list view. Okay, which would be another potential implementation. Okay, in this case, activity will not extend activity but list activity. Okay, there are several options here, but the approach is very similar. Okay, we have the data, whatever you want to display, that could be images, that could be a string. We will have an adapter. Okay, and then we will set the adapter to the list. Okay, in this case we have a list activity that has some way the list view embedded. Okay. Okay. Oh, another elements, for example, an spinner. Okay, which is the one that you can show different options to the user in a drop-down list. Okay, that can be defined. Okay, you can define the elements in the list as a resource, for example, in values arrays. Okay, in this example, you have several items which are different banks. Okay, and you can also define, for example, a string to be displayed. Okay, which you can see it here. Okay, we will have the prompt. The prompt will be the message, cost of financial rescue, blah 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 blah. Okay, and okay, and here you set the, in the adapter again, you set then the list of banks as a resource that we will put into the spinner with an adapter again. Okay, so think that you can the take-home message here is that you can populate selection elements with adapters, and you can populate these adapters with elements coming from resources, elements coming from a query to the database, or elements that are defined in the code. For example, the string with dato1, dato2, dato3 that we had. Okay. We have also different types of dialogues. Okay, the alert dialog, progress dialog, date picker, time picker, and so on. Okay, and we have seen already some example of that, how to handle events. Okay, but well, just to go a bit more into that, the event model is very similar to Java. Okay, the user when the user interacts with an element, okay, and when this happens, the system will fire an event, okay, depending on the type of interaction. So if you want to respond to this event, you need to implement an interface, okay, that depends on the event type, and you will register an instance of an event listener in the element, okay. Several options. Okay, you can either register the well, you can either register the listener on the view and then declare the method of the interface that it's called when the event is fired. Okay, on you can do it within the. You can do it separately. Okay, or you can do it in the same when you actually using an anonymous class when you when you are register the listener. Okay, we will see that in an example. So the interfaces that you can implement, for example, with a view, for example, one on-click listener, okay, which is the most frequent, maybe, okay, a long-click listener, okay, where the user clicks for a long time, when the focus changes, on key listener, okay, on touch listener, and so on, okay. Here you have you go to the Android documentation. Okay, I will share that with you. Wait a moment. Okay, here you have a lot of good documentation on all the event listener. Okay, actually all these methods are called by Android. Okay, or when the view to which the listener has been registered, okay, is called by some action of the user. Okay, we have seen the on click. Okay, when the user touches one item. Okay, the long click. Okay, when the user touches and holds the item. The focus change that we have already seen that. Okay, and this one. Okay, and here you have again the example of the on-click listener, and well, several of them. Go back to the presentation. Okay. Okay, another very simple example. Okay, we have an activity, my activity. Okay, and this activity we have a text view and a button. Okay, so we create in the onCreate method again. We set with the call the zapper method. We set the layout. Okay, and we assume that on this layout we have included a text view and a button. Okay, we get the references to both of them. We define view by the method, and well, we have this counter, which will be an integer. Okay, and we will set the text on the text view with 0. Okay, and then we register the listener in the button to on click. Okay, set on click listener, and when the user clicks, okay, we will increase the counter and we will set the text in the text view until it will be increased continuously. Okay, quite easy. So from regarding gestures, you know that the user can make different gestures in the screen. Okay, the touch, the long touch, you can swipe, drag, double touch, pinch open. Okay, so separate things and close to approach. Okay, so for dealing with gestures, we have two classes in Android. Okay, gesture detector for gestures made with just a pointer. Okay, and a scale gesture detector to process the zoom gestures made with two pointers. Okay, with two fingers typically to zoom in or zoom out. Okay. Here you have a very simple example again of the skeleton of the code to deal with a zoom gesture. Okay, we have let's say that we have a view. Okay, and what we do is to we get this scale gesture detector. Okay, and a factor de escala. Okay, and in what we do here is that in the within the scale gesture detector, okay, we override the method on scale, okay, and well, we can detect we will get this scale factor from the detector, okay, and depending on that, we can do something. We will adapt what we are displaying, for example, to the user in the screen. Okay, for example, we could change dynamically the size of a bitmap of an image. Okay, so you do that in the code, but you always need to implement that. Okay, to implement what happens when the user do something, but you can control it quite fine into the code. Okay, for menus, well, Android has already some graphical user interface design guidelines, okay, from version 5.0, and actually you can always check this this recommendation, okay, these guidelines in the official documentation. Well, these are continuously evolving, okay, so it's important that you check depending on what you want to implement, or the functionality, the design that you want to offer, the components that you want to offer to in the user interface, that you check that whatever you are offering is supported. Okay, so sometimes you will need to use some compatibility libraries, okay, in order to ensure that some functionalities are offered in the same way in different versions of the API. Okay, so these libraries will add the functionality on devices that do not support them natively. Okay, if we open this one, okay, wait a moment. Okay, let me share again the browser. Okay, here again you have an address, material.io, okay, where you have a lot of resources to, well, that with recommendations on how to design and code the user interface in your projects. Okay, that may seem don't know, unnecessary. Okay, but the fact is that when you are working with an application, we as users, we always notice when the application, when the user interface is well designed or not. Okay, very often when we think about us as developers, we do it quickly. We think on offering just the functionality, and we don't reflect too much on the design of the user interface. So I always recommend you to take a look of how to create, okay, this the graphical part of your application, okay, and how to offer the best user experience from the point of view not only of the functionality that you are implementing, but also on the design that you are, the design of the user interface that you are offering to the user in order to get the functionality. Okay, user experience is a must in my opinion. Okay, and it relies very importantly in the design of the user interface. Okay, you have some guidelines on the components that you can use. Okay, the application bar, the backdrop, and so on. Okay, that's the reason, because you will see that many applications, even if they are completely different from different companies, different developers, very often they share some they share the same look and feel. Okay, and they share the same user experience. Okay, for example, the floating button typically in the bottom right corner of the screen, card, how checkboxes are displayed to the user, how tags, these chips, are displayed to the user, and so on. Okay. Back to this one. Okay. Well, I'm not going to stop here in the support libraries. Okay, we will see that on when we are developing some project. Okay. Some interesting element here is the application bar. Okay, which is the title and toolbar that appears on the top of the activity. Okay, it may show a title, okay, the name of the application, of the name of the activity. For example, if you are looking at the settings, there will be something like settings displayed in the application bar, and you will have, you may have some action buttons, okay, and also a pull down menu to the right, okay. If you cannot, it depends that you can choose, okay. Either you put the main action buttons in the application bar, okay, in the top of the screen, and if you have many action buttons, you may choose to move all these action buttons in a pull down menu, okay, where you click and it opens a menu, okay. And you will have also a back navigation button on the left, okay. You will need to specify a theme capable of showing the application bar, and you can do two things, okay, either existing a predefined theme or extend one of them to redefine some properties, okay. If you don't want to mess a lot of with that, you can just use a predefined theme. In this case, in order to define the theme that we are going to use, okay, we can indicate the theme in the application element in the Android manifest, okay. This is the in application element we have Android theme, and here we can choose a theme using an action bar, okay. And we must declare an activity class that extends the app compat activity, okay. So we are providing support regardless of the API. In this file of the REST folder, okay, in values styles.xml, we can modify an existing theme, okay. We can create a style name mitema blah blah blah, and we can, for example, change the color of the app bar, okay, the main color of the application, and so on, okay. And the colors, for example, that are used by some controls. For example, the color accent is the one that we are using on text boxes, checkboxes, and so on, okay. And if we define in styles.xml a new theme, for example, this wall called mitema, we will indicate that in the Android manifest that we are going to use this theme, este tema. For the application bar, the menu, it is the options that we are going to display in the menu. We can define them as a resource in the resource folder menu, okay. And we will have a root element which is called name menu and child elements of the type item, okay. And we can the attributes that we can use in the menu include an ID, a label, which will be the text that is displayed for the option, an icon, that's a short icon, a small icon, which is associated with the action. For example, to create, we will have the plus action, and you have the option to with this parameter, okay, show as action, you can choose whether the item in the menu on the app bar, okay, will be displayed as an element in the drop-down menu, okay, or as an action as a button in the application bar, okay. I don't know if you follow me. Let me see if we can open here an example, okay. here. Wait a moment. Okay, this is the application bar. Okay, and here you have the title of the application bar, and these are elements contained in the menu. Okay, if you click here in the three dots, you will have additional options. Okay, like this one. So depending, if we can choose. This is all these elements, these two elements. Okay, la lupa, the search button and the folder button, and whatever option is there, they are all of them contained within the menu. Okay, but we can choose whether an item in the menu is going to be displayed as a button in the application bar or as an option in the drop-down menu. Okay, let me see, is there another screenshot here? No, that's all. Okay. Okay, so to create the menu from a resource file, okay, we must override the method on create option menu. Okay, within the activity, okay, we override this one. Okay, and with this method get menu inflator dot inflate. Okay, we are adding the menu to the application bar. Okay, in this case we will add the menu that we are defined in the resource folder. Then we need okay, we have the application bar, we have put a menu on it. Okay, we also need to deal with the events associated with the menu. Okay, for example, the user selecting an option. Okay, so in order to do that, we will override the method on options item selected. Okay, in the same class my activity. Okay, we will have the onCreate option menu method for adding the menu, and we will have the onOptions item selected method. Okay, for dealing with the user selecting the options of the menu. Okay, so we will have very simple a switch. Okay, where we will get the item ID of the item selected by the user, and in the cases we will decide what to do depending on the option that is chosen by the user. Okay, well, the application bar is always placed on the top. Okay, we could want to place it in another positions, then we will use a toolbar. Okay, that's a component that can be included in a layout file like any other like any other view. Okay, if we are using a toolbar, okay, so if we are deciding to place the bar in other place, so if we decide to don't use the application bar, we should choose a theme that does not show the action bar. Okay, obviously. So and well, in the activity code, the toolbar, okay, we can obtain them and set it as the action bar. Okay, we get the reference to the toolbar with findViewID method. Okay, and then we can say that the support action bar is this one, the toolbar. Okay, and okay, finally, regarding fragments. Okay, fragments were usually initially they were used to design interfaces, okay, for devices with large screens. Okay, for example, think about a tablet, okay, with in a landscape position. Okay, so we could have in a mobile device, in a smartphone, okay, with a smaller screen, we could have two activities. Okay, for example, a list of elements, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when we click on one of these, okay, we could display the detail of the element with additional information or whatever. Okay, think about the list of emails, okay, the list of messages. But if we have a large screen, okay, we could take advantage of a larger screen and, for example, display the list of elements on the left and the detail of the selected element on the right. Okay, so in order to do that, we can use fragments. Okay, that represents a portion, okay, a part of the user interface within an activity. Okay, so an activity can contain several fragments, and we can display or hide these fragments, okay, these parts of the user interfaces dynamically. A fragment has also a life cycle, okay, and actually is bound to activity. Okay, so each life cycle method of the fragment, okay, is related to the life cycle method of the activity. Okay, when we create the activity, okay, on the fragment, we start first. We call the onAttach method. We are attaching the fragment to the activity, and then we call the methods onCreate. The system calls the onCreate method, the onCreateView method, and the onActivityCreating method of the fragment. Okay, in the onCreateView method, okay, we create this is the method where we create the user interface of the fragment. Okay, so we can use again a XML layout to create it dynamically in the code. Okay, when the activity calls the onStart method, the fragment calls the onStart method again, and when the activity calls the onResume method, the fragment calls the onResume method again. Okay, and the same when the activity is paused, when the activity is stopped. Okay, remember the activity lifecycle. And finally, when the activity is destroyed, the fragment calls the onDestroyView, onDestroy, and onDetach. So the fragment is detached from the activity, and the activity is also destroyed. I think this is an older version, but I think we can create. Let me try. Let me share with you the Android Studio. Wait a moment. En la diapositiva 38 nos está haciendo lo mismo dos veces. Déjame comprobarlo. Puede ser, igual. En la 38, example, we create the adapter. Yeah. We can, yeah, this is our two options. Okay, this is what you are talking about, no? Okay. We can create it from a list, this example, okay, array list, and we put the, yeah. The fact is that this shouldn't be, this is a mistake here, this shouldn't be datos, but AEL. Okay, so bien visto. Muy bien visto. Corregiré. Gracias. Vale, so we are here. Okay, this is okay. We are going to Android Studio now. Wait. Android Studio. Wait. Okay, I'm going to share the whole screen. Let me see if it works. Okay. File, new project. Okay. Fragment, view plus payment. This was master detail flow. Okay. Let's try to create it, my master view. Okay, to create it. Oh, wait a minute, that the project is built. Taking a while. Okay, I got it. Okay. So first of all, let's go to the manifest. Okay, we have one activity. Okay, the main activity is this item list activity. Okay, and we have a second activity, which is the item detail activity. Okay, the first one is the item list activity. We open it. Okay, extend up complete data. We have a toolbar. Okay, that we are supporting. Okay, first of all, we are going to execute it. Okay, to see how it works. Okay, and okay, we will execute that. Will be the first activity. Okay, so on the onCreate method, we set a layout, which we can be activity item list. We can see it here. Okay, activity item list, this one. Right, loading still. Okay. Okay, we have a toolbar. We have a floating action button that will be on the bottom. Okay, we have over right here the onClick method. Okay, and here we are trying to find whether there is an item detail container. Okay, which will be only present in large screen layouts. Okay, so if this view is present, okay, then the activity should be into panel mode. Okay, we have a recycler view. Okay, displaying the list on the left. Okay, and then we have here another several listeners. Okay, for the list of items. Okay, let me see. No, wait a moment. Okay, so in this case, what we will have on the this is still thinking. Okay, actually, what we have is let's think we have in a smartphone. Okay, we are not in a two-panel mode. Okay, so what we will have is we will have a list of things. Okay, and we will have a list of items anyway, and we will have a listener to detect when the user have a problem here. I don't know. Okay, I cannot show you the example. Okay, we will have Go back to the code. Okay, we will have a listener and we will have an on-click listener, okay, on the list of items. Okay, if we have two panels into the, you saying something? Okay, thank you. Okay, if you are in the two panel mode, okay, you will. Has modificado sin querer el item list action. Ostras, qué buenos sois. ¿En qué línea? En la. Ah, muy bien. Qué buenos sois. Voy a probar de nuevo. Espérate. ¿Vale? Okay, so here you have the on-click. Okay, if we are in the two panel, what we are doing is we are adding a fragment to display the panel. Okay, if we are not in two panel mode, we are creating an intent to start. Okay, to start a new activity, a second activity. Okay, and okay, we got it. Okay, here we are in the two panel, in the single panel mode. Okay, we click on item 1 and we open the, okay, we are opening a new activity and we are displaying the fragment in this second activity. Okay, so you can see here that we are now we are executing this case. Okay, we are not in the two panel mode. We create the intent, okay, and we put an extra the item ID, okay, and we pass the item ID that must be displayed in the second activity with the intent, okay. Hay una manera de ver en el árbol las extensiones de todos los archivos. En el árbol aquí, aquí estás en la vista Android proyecto, ¿vale? Esto sabes que es una clase, ¿vale? Puedes cambiar, poner project files, por ejemplo, y ahí ya verás todo. O también te sale con el class, ¿vale? Pero si es class es .java. ¿Vale? Ahora, lo que molaría ahora es, a ver si tengo aquí alguna tablet definida. No. Tendría que crear una tablet. Y si le cambio esto, me va a cambiar. A ver. No, no me lo cambia. No, no llega a cambiarlo. No tiene suficiente resolución. Ok. Pero bueno, básicamente aquí tenéis esto, ¿vale? Tenéis el... lo importante es que aquí tenéis en el item list activity. Tenéis un montón de cosas. Ahí. ¿Vale? En esta parte, en el resto no me meto, ¿vale? Que es la parte del adaptador, del recicler y demás. Básicamente tú tienes esta es la actividad list activity, ¿ok? Tienes también la actividad item detail activity, ¿ok? Which is activated with an explicit intent, ¿ok? And we have the fragment, ¿ok? So the item detail activity is the normal activity. Okay, we have the toolbar, we have the floating action button, blah, 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 and we are setting an activity item detail layout. Okay, and here we have the fragment, okay, which is text fragment with, well, all the stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and on the onCreate, okay, on the onCreate method, okay, well, we get some information about the item, okay, with some stuff with the bar layout, and the important here is the onCreate view, okay. In the onCreate view, what we are doing is displaying a different layout, okay, which is this one. Let's open it. Okay, item detail and item list content. Okay. Another interesting thing here is that in the adapter, let me find that. Okay. Okay, here we are using. I have closed the application. Execute it again. Okay. In the application, we are displaying a list of items. Okay, this is a recycler view. Okay, so to populate this recycler view, okay, we are using adapter. Okay, what are we displaying is a list, okay, of items. Okay, the list dummy content is defined. Where is it defined? A ver si lo encontráis. Aquí, ok, from en values. Y en values. Ok. Okay, wait a moment. Check that view holder. Okay, all this part of the code, okay, the view holder is used to put the items here, okay, pam, pam, pam. So we are creating, actually what we are doing here, what the code is doing, okay, is that for any item in the list, okay, any item in this recycler view, we are creating a small layout, okay. So we are replicating this small layout with the number with two text views, okay, which is this one. Okay, this is the item list, okay, and this is the ID text and the content, okay. So essentially, going back to the beginning, okay, in this first activity, we have the list. We implement the list with a recycler view, okay, and okay, where you have the application bar with the toolbar, okay, this is a coordinator layout, and we have a frame layout where we are including the floating button, okay, and the layout item list, okay. The layout item list is defined separately, okay, and this here is an item list, okay. If we go to the code, we can see that it is a recycler view, okay. And in this item list, okay, what we are displaying is not this stuff, okay, but an item list content, okay. So think about this is maybe this is not difficult to, this is a bit difficult to see at the beginning, okay. We have a recycler view, but we don't know how many elements are we displaying in the view, okay, in the list. So what we do is that for each element here, okay, here for each element, we are going to wait a moment. Okay, for each element here, we are inflating, okay, we are displaying the item list content small layout, okay. So we are replicating it for every item in the list, okay. Do you follow me more or less? Not really, no? Okay, don't worry, it's normal. Okay, what else you have here? Okay, you have the same, you have two terms defined, okay, one for night and one for the day, okay. And well, some launcher images, okay, and that's the most important here. strings, and the name of the application that we created at the beginning. Okay, some dimensions that are defined in the dimens.xml file, the margin of the floating button, the height of the application bar, so on, and the colors that we have already seen. Okay. And that's it. Okay, so here you have an example of the use of fragments. Okay, so if we have a large screen, we are displaying the fragment. If we have a smaller screen, instead of displaying the fragment, we are creating a new activity. Okay, in one of the user interfaces, in one of the applications that we analyzed yesterday, we will probably, the application probably is using some of the applications, for example, this one that we could, I don't remember which one was, Telegram, I think, okay, that you could, no, not Telegram, the clock application, okay, the alarm application, okay, that you could switch between different panels, okay. These panels probably are not applications, okay, but are not different activities, but different fragments that are displayed or hide dynamically, okay, depending on the option that the user actually chooses, okay. Okay, I'm going to close that. So now I want to propose you two exercises today. Okay, the first one, and we can have 20 minutes more or less. Okay, is to in Android, okay, to create an empty activity. Okay, new project, and you create that, yeah, an empty activity. Well, whatever you want. Okay, but yeah, an empty activity is fine. Okay. You create an empty activity. Okay. My application 3, for example. Okay. And try to copy, okay, the user interface of one of the applications in your mobile phone. Okay. So it's quite simple. You have the main activity. You are setting the layout. Okay. So I just want you to do is to play a bit with the layout. Okay. Add elements, play with the different stuff, and so on. Okay. If you are thinking about, for example, a gallery of a list of something that is displayed, that are displaying one element after another, you won't probably be able to replicate it, okay, because you need the data that is displayed into the adapter, okay, that is displayed into the view. But think, for example, about the settings activity of any application, or something that is rather static. Okay, for example, in an email application, to display the screen showing the content of the email. Okay, so try to replicate, okay, the layout of a single activity, okay, a single screen of some application. Okay, and play a bit with that, and then I will invite you to share the screen, okay, and display and share your creation. ¿Habéis entendido? ¿Entendido? ¿No entendido? Vale, pues eso, creáis una empty activity, una actividad vacía, ¿vale? Una aplicación vacía, y en el layout intentáis replicar la pantalla de alguno de los la pantalla de alguna de las aplicaciones que tengáis. Vale, y como os decía, si cogéis alguna, evitad, no cojáis una actividad que tenga, que muestre cosas dinámicamente, porque eso no lo vais a poder replicar, ¿vale? En principio va a ser más complicado. ¿Vale? Y trastead un poquillo con ello. ¿Vale? Y en Sony 43, en 20 minutitos así, ¿vale? Lo compartimos, a ver qué habéis hecho. Y voy a pedir un voluntario o voluntaria, ¿vale? O sea que no os escondáis ni os desconectéis. ¿Vale? Voy a dejar de compartir un momentito. ¿Tenéis todos Android Studio instalado ya? ¿Alguien, mejor dicho, la pregunta inversa, ¿alguien no lo tiene instalado? Vale, ok. Vale, sí, me lo comentaste. Vale, pues nada, primero instálalo, no te preocupes tampoco demasiado ahora por el ejercicio. Vale, y ahora a ver si arreglo mi Android Studio. ¿Cómo lo lleváis? Vale, a ver, una de las cosas importantes ahí será el layout que elijáis al principio, ¿vale? Dependiendo de... ¿Vale? Si utilizáis el constant layout, recordad que tendréis que... Bueno, primero, imagino que tenéis creado algún dispositivo virtual para visualizarlo como se ve, ¿vale? Y segundo, si elegís un constant layout, pensad que todos los elementos tendrán que estar puestos en posición a otros, ¿vale? En posición a otros, en relación a, posicionados en relación a otros, o relacionados en... o con, digamos, con los márgenes, con los bordes de la pantalla, ¿vale? Me lo pone donde le da la gana y no puedes anclarlo arriba. A ver, voy a crearme yo uno. Espera, un momentico. Constraint está bien, para empezar. Vale, yo tiraría con constraint. Vale, si hacéis clic a ver, espera que lo abro. Si hacéis clic en cualquiera, dentro del diseñador de layouts, ¿vale? Si hacéis clic en cualquier elemento de la paleta, ¿vale? Te sale añadir a diseño, favorito o Android Documentation y Material Guidelines, ¿vale? Si hacéis clic en Android Documentation o hacéis mayúsculas más F1, te manda directamente, te abre directamente la página de la documentación oficial con toda la referencia. ¿Vale? Porque también quiero decir, hay un montón de componentes diferentes y cada uno tiene su historia. ¿Vale? Sobre todo el de Constraint Layout, por ejemplo, aquí tenéis aquí tenéis la referencia. Sí, a ver, por defecto los componentes son material like, ¿vale? Luego hay algunas materiales en general, no solamente el diseño de los elementos, ¿vale? Sino también una filosofía de cómo diseñar la interfaz de usuario. Si necesitaras Bootstrap, ¿vale? ¿Para qué necesitarías Bootstrap? Sí, es una librería, sí. Sí, eso tendrías que añadirla, sí, correcto. O sea, sí, vale, según las especificaciones de Bootstrap, ¿no? Sí. Desde el Activity XML se pueden cambiar los colores. Yo creo que los puedes cambiar directamente a pelo o desde donde quieras, ¿vale? Lo ideal es que tú en la aplicación tengas un set de colores ya predefinido, que los tengas definidos en colors XML y que luego los utilices siempre desde ahí, ¿vale? También para no estar picando todo el rato el código RGB. Estoy cotillando lo de Android, ¿vale? Lo de Bootstrap. Vale, a ver. ¿Te refieres a esta, Amancio? O espera, que está enviando. Ahora, ¿te refieres a esta, Jetpack o Android Bootstrap? Vale. Bueno, ¿cómo va? ¿Alguna voluntaria, voluntario? Ojalá yo, pero ¿qué va? ¿Eso es un sí? ¿Es un no? ¿Vale? El list view, pensad que el list view es una... Bueno, podéis utilizarlo, ¿vale? Pero el list view, para que luego te muestre algo en pantalla chulo, el list view o el linear layout, ¿vale? Porque el list view va a ser uno que nosotros poblemos, ¿vale? Con algún tipo de dato, ¿vale? Si no tenemos ese tipo de dato, bueno, podemos utilizarlo, ¿vale? Pero para enseñar ahora, digamos, una versión rápida de la interfaz de usuario, ¿vale? Sí, puede ser un array de strings y ya está, puedes hacerlo ahí a pelo. Como el ejemplo, por ejemplo, perdón. El ejemplo de que hemos visto con los fragmentos. A ver si puedo ejecutar. Vale, mira, si queréis os comparto pantalla. Trabajaremos un poquito sobre esta. Para que echéis un vistazo a... Se puede poner un vídeo al vídeo view. El sentido común me dice que sí, pero... Espérate. Sobre todo es cómo se pone. Video view. Sí, lo único tendrás que ponérselo... ¿Cómo se lo pasas? Es la duda. A ver. ¿Vale? Ahí le puedes pasar, pero eso ya tienes que hacerlo en el código, ¿vale? Tienes que ponerle, le puedes pasar el vídeo como una URI, ¿vale? Y la vista, video view, tiene un método setVideoURI, ¿vale? Y luego tienes el método simple, mira, por ejemplo, os enseño aquí un ejemplo sencillo que he encontrado. Os comparto pantalla. Sí, mira cómo lo hace aquí. Te comparto pantalla, ¿vale? Un momento. Mira, bueno, página cualquiera de Android, ¿vale? Cuando os decía que hay de todo en Internet, es que hay de todo. Te mete un vídeo, ¿vale? En la pantalla de la aplicación y el código veréis que es súper sencillo, ¿vale? En el XML, en el layout, tiene incluyes la vista, video view, ¿vale? Le pones el ID, en este caso lo han puesto simple video view. Y luego en el código, ¿vale? bueno, la aplicación necesitaría acceso, dependiendo de dónde tengas almacenado el archivo del vídeo, puedes necesitar acceso a la red o no. En este ejemplo que ha hecho aquí el tipo este, pues lo obtiene de la red, ¿vale? Y el código es súper sencillo, ¿vale? Hace un create, ¿vale? Set content view, ¿vale? El layout activity main, que contiene el video view, y lo que hace es parsea esta URL con un archivo MP4 y lo mete en una URI, ¿vale? En un objeto URI, y luego captura el video view y le asigna el video URI. Lo que no sé si puedes especificar directamente la URI desde el layout. Pienso que igual sí. Pero no me lo he cogido. Me da un error ahí. Vale. Yo creo que sí. Pues no me lo deja aquí. A ver si está. Quizá no. Quizá hay que meterlo en código. Foreground ID. Click. No lo he visto yo. Vale, si no, directamente lo harías en el código y con el método start pues lo arrancaría, lo pondría en marcha. Vale. ¿Alguien quiere enseñar algo? ¿Un voluntario? Si no, os enseño alguna cosilla. Bueno, voluntario para presentar algo. A la de una. A la de dos. Dejo 10 minutos más para el final de la clase. Vale, va, venga, hasta ahí 20 y poco. Vale, mientras os enseño una cosilla que os va a gustar. A ver. Comparto pantalla. Vale. Vale. Mira, aquí tenéis, ¿vale? Lo que estoy compartiendo, ¿vale? ¿Veis la aplicación móvil? ¿Vale? Este es el proyecto del año pasado, ¿vale? Que obviamente si os lo estoy enseñando es porque este año no va a ser igual. Vale, pero bueno, veis que lo que hacía era, mostraba en una lista, ¿vale? Un poco con lo que hemos dicho, mediante un adaptador, etcétera, información actualizada de las estaciones de Valenbici de Valencia, ¿vale? Cuando hacías clic en una de ellas, ¿vale? Por ejemplo, pues no sé, Beniferri, ¿vale? Pues bueno, te daba información adicional, ¿vale? Algo muy parecido a lo que habíamos visto en la otra de hace un momentín, ¿vale? Con el fragmento y demás, ¿vale? Que haces clic en uno de los elementos y te abre ahí, ¿vale? Y si fijáis, pues todas las actividades tienen su app bar arriba, ¿vale? Con el título de la actividad, y en este caso pues tienes un botón de acción que en principio te permite actualizar, pues mira, ¿ves? Actualizado cosas, ¿vale? Actualizar la información obtenida en tiempo real los datos de la base de datos abierta del Ayuntamiento de Valencia, ¿vale? Y luego, pues si te metes aquí, pues tienes otras opciones, ¿no? Tenías ahí opción de añadir datos. Esto no me acuerdo qué hacía. Vale, sí, esto te abría un mapa con la ubicación exacta de la estación de Valen-Bici, cosas así. ¿Vale? Está en la Politécnica. ¿Vale? Si vuelvo aquí, UPV Caminos, correcto. ¿Vale? Y aquí podías añadir, de nuevo, ¿vale? Pues lo mismo, añadir cosas adicionales, una imagen, historias. ¿Vale? Si os fijáis aquí, aquí ya me voy al código, ¿vale? Por ejemplo, la parte esta que comentábamos de menús, ¿vale? Veréis que están definidos como menús, ¿vale? Digamos, cada menú está definido, ¿vale? En este caso, pues que tenemos menú y tiene una única acción, que es acción refresh, ¿vale? Que es refrescar, ¿vale? Por refrescar los datos obtenidos de la fuente de datos externa, ¿vale? Este otro, pues la opción de añadir y de abrir el mapa, ¿vale? Cada uno de estos, pues hace una acción distinta, ¿vale? Si os fijáis aquí a la derecha, está marcada como Show as Action, Always, ¿vale? Lo que comentábamos de que aparezca siempre como botón de acción aquí al principio, ¿vale? Esto podríamos modificarlo. A ver si no rompo nada. Vale. Podría decir que no lo muestre nunca, ¿vale? Y aplicar, y a ver qué hace. Up, ¿vale? Veis que sale ya no aparece como acción, aparece dentro del menú y aparecería como texto, puedes localizar, ¿vale? Estaba puesto en inglés, ¿vale? Si vuelvo a cambiar esto, ¿vale? Le digo que aparezca siempre como acción, ¿vale? Pues configuro los menús, ¿vale? Y hay un último menú aquí, pues con 3 botones: eliminar, echar una foto y aceptar o guardar los cambios, ¿vale? Un ejemplo de los menús que comentábamos. Y los layouts, esta aplicación en la estructura era bastante sencilla, ¿vale? Digamos, cada actividad tenía prácticamente su propio layout independiente. ¿Vale? Perdón. A ver si no se muere esto. ¿Esto por qué me lo da como malo? A ver, espérate, ahora te lo miro. ¿Vale? Y aquí veis por ejemplo, que contenía un list view, ¿vale? Tú cuando ejecutas la aplicación, ¿vale? Y esto es esto es mejor, lo que os comentaba, que es mejor verlo con un ejemplo, ¿vale? Fijaos que, por ejemplo, la primera pantalla de la aplicación, que tiene un montón de cosas, realmente a efectos de layout, ¿vale? Aparentemente es súper sencillo, ¿vale? Lo único que hay es un list view, ¿vale? Y tú me dirás, hombre, pero aquí te aparece ítem 1, subítem, bla, 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 bla. ¿Vale? Pero eso no es lo que sale aquí, ¿no? Aquí salen más cosas, salen colorines, sale la distancia, etcétera. ¿Vale? Realmente aquí lo que estamos jugando es que el list view lo que contiene es en cierto modo, lo que hace es crear un layout individual para cada uno de los ítems en la lista, ¿vale? El list view o el recycler view que hemos visto u otros, ¿vale? Entonces, por ejemplo, aquí lo que estamos haciendo realmente es para cada uno de los ítems desplegar este layout, ¿vale? Entonces tú cuando estás viendo esta aplicación, lo que estás viendo es un layout general, el del list view, con pequeños layouts, ¿vale? Que se crean a medida, ¿vale? Para cada uno de los ítems en la lista, ¿vale? Que yo estoy mostrando. Que tengo a partir de un adaptador, a partir de una consulta, o un archivo externo, bla, 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 bla. ¿Vale? Y dices que te da un error ahí, private string datos. ¿Por qué te lo da como malo? ¿Qué te dice? Es que así sin verlo. Private string datos. Espera un momentín. Un expected token, pero no sé dónde lo estás, que no lo así sin verlo es complicado. Jorge, ¿tú tienes algo? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Quieres enseñarnos algo?
Sí, bien.
Va, pues venga, comparte.
O sea, no me ha dado tiempo a mucho porque son 20 minutos o media hora.
Vale, sí, no, el objetivo era jugar un poquito.
Vale, a ver.
Vale, ¿compartes pantalla? Creo que puedes compartir pantalla.
Voy. He intentado imitar a la página de WhatsApp y me he
Vale,
limitado a la lista porque había que hacer más cosas en el
vale.
menú, las tabs estas.
Vale, sí, esas cosillas, vale.
Entonces, en 20 minutos me ha dado tiempo a hacer más o menos una lista dummy tonta
Vale, no está mal.
y
Vale,
ya.
vale.
Y
¿Y cómo
lo
lo
que has
has
dicho tú.
hecho?
He
Vale,
hecho el adaptador, lo del... No he cogido los elementos porque era tonta la vista.
vale,
Y aquí lista dummy, o sea, vacía.
vale,
Sí que le he puesto cosillas en el main activity con un
vale.
for.
Vale, le has metido las historias estas, ¿no? Que le has metido ahí, vale. List dummy add, vale. Recycler view, vale. List
A ver,
string, list dummy. Vale,
y nada
vale.
más.
Muy bien, pues no está nada mal, ¿no? Vale. Y los layouts, a ver, tienes el layout del activity main, ¿correcto?
Sí, el activity. Es que solo
¿Vale?
tiene
Y un layout, igual que hemos visto aquí en la aplicación, está de ejemplo, ¿no? Para cada uno de los ítems.
item chat, lo he llamado.
Correcto, vale. Con la esta y demás. Vale, genial. Muy bien,
Vale.
muy bien. Muy buena. Muy bien, muy buena. ¿Vale? ¿Algún voluntario más? ¿Voluntarios? ¿Alguien más que se anime a sacar algo? A ver, no sé si es la única manera de la fracción de lo que acaba de enseñar el compañero. Bueno, poco a poco. Vale, ahí ha ido, ha sido bien, ha sido ahí al ejemplo a tiro hecho. Está bien, está bien. A ver, y lo que comentaba Mancio, déjame ver un momentín. Vale, ¿quién más habla por aquí? Esperaos. Cerrar. Miguel Ferrer, a ver. Bueno, no está mal. Valencia, vale, compártenos pantalla, venga.
¿Se me oye?
Perfectamente.
Vale, a ver. Ten en cuenta que no tengo ni idea.
No, no, está bien, a ver, luce bien, desde que desde fuera luce bien.
Vale, se ve.
Vale, has metido los text views, ¿no? Vale.
Sí, los.
Sí, text, vale.
A ver, me falta el tema de
Vale, a ver,
ajustarlo
sí,
bien y tal.
eso quería verte yo, las constraints. Vale. ¿Cómo
Sí,
salen
a
ahí? Vale.
ver, se las he puesto. Es que no sé si están bien, seguramente no.
Bueno,
Este, por
no.
ejemplo, falta de izquierda.
Vale. Si ejecutas, ¿qué pasa? ¿Cómo te sale?